Hello everyone, and welcome to my vitamin D walk talk, but I'm not really walking today. I'm just kind of sitting at the park and enjoying and soaking in this amazing vitamin D. I am getting 28 IUs a minute right now, so it's really nice. It's really windy, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to try to talk loud, but I'm recording this a little differently, so we will see if it turns out different than my other ones. I'm still trying to learn video editing and all this fun stuff. It's so fun to learn how to use YouTube and get on here and kind of share with you guys, but I thought it was really important to kind of get out and get my thoughts out. I think a lot differently than most people about health, and I really kind of want to communicate that and hopefully let people understand it a little bit differently, because you guys, health is in our hands. It is in our hands, and we can heal ourselves if we have the right tools and we have the right education. So hopefully I'm kind of communicating that in little chunks that makes it really easy for you to understand. But today I wanted to kind of bring up a documentary that I watched last night. I don't remember what it was called. It was on Gaia TV, and it was all about kind of diet culture. But what the main thing was about these big giant companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, like all the fast food, the bad companies, the tactics that they use for marketing to kids and kind of how they draw in people and like kind of the sneaky things that they do to kind of get customers. And the documentary, it was not from the USA. It was from, I think it was a French one, because they kept kind of comparing back to France. But they were all over. So they were in Amsterdam, they were in India, they were in France, they were kind of all over, but definitely not in the United States. They didn't talk about the United States at all. So it was really interesting to watch it from that perspective, because we always watch stuff about the United States. I don't really watch too much about outside of it, but you do hear about it. So there's 3 things in this video that kind of stuck out to me, or this documentary stuck out to me completely. So the first one was, it was about Coca-Cola. So they were talking about how Coca-Cola, like, they can't advertise. You're not supposed to advertise to kids. Like, there's laws out there. You're not supposed to advertise to a certain group of kids, like below a certain age at all. But Coca-Cola will go and like sponsor schools. So they will do like a grant or a donation and like all this money. And so I think it was in India where this was. I'm not quite sure. It might have been in Amsterdam or another place. But they were basically, Coca-Cola like had this huge event, and it was all these schools, and they invited all the kids and all the schools to come to this big huge event, and they would like do the awards and stuff. And they were talking to the waiters who were actually serving the food, because you're just looking around these tables and it's full of little kids with Coca-Cola, tons of Coca-Cola everywhere. And even the waiters were just like, yeah, like, we've served about 20 bottles of water. And they're like, okay, well, how much Coca-Cola have you sold? And they were just like, well, we've served about 2,000 bottles of Coca-Cola. Like, that is crazy, you guys. So it's like, get all these kids in a room. It's like, yeah, you're not specifically advertising to them, but it's like you're putting them around this product. They're drinking this product. They're there, and it's just another tricky way that they're using. And it's like, obviously, if your school wins, you're like, yeah, Coca-Cola is the best company ever, and you put them up on a pedestal. Not really down here of like understanding that they're actually poisoning us. So yeah, that was one that I learned about. Sorry, my hair is all in my face. I'm gonna go this way. Maybe that'll work. Oh, there we go. Okay, so another one, it was Ronald McDonald's. They were talking about McDonald's, and they were also saying that they cannot advertise to kids. So this was I think this one was in India. So they had Ronald McDonald go into the schools, and they had him, the clown, the whole suit that we all recognize. We've seen it, we know it, the red clown suit thing, but they had the McDonald's covered up. So they're like, yeah, they even covered up the label just so that they weren't accused of advertising these children. But the clown was in the classroom, he was playing games, he was doing things, he was just with them. He spent the whole day with these kids and made them happy, and wasn't handing out McDonald's, wasn't feeding them McDonald's, anything, but literally just that image of this clown there with these people, and they're thinking, the little kids, and they're seeing this, and they're playing, they're having like really good, fun, happy times with this clown. The clown leaves, and they're asking the kids, they're like, oh, okay, like, what kind of clown was that? And they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, actually, no. They showed a picture of the clown. They're like, what clown is this? They're like, oh, like, it's a clown. They're like, oh, what clown? They're like, the McDonald's clown. They're like, oh, well, after seeing this clown today, does that make you want to go to McDonald's? And all the kids were like, yeah, I want to go to McDonald's. And they're like, oh, are you going to ask your parents to take you to McDonald's? And they were just like, yeah, we're going to ask our parents. So it's just a really sneaky way of advertising, because they didn't specifically give any of the product to the kids, but the kids just have this happy memory of the clown, and they're like, yeah, I want to go to McDonald's. I want to see McDonald's. So now they're going to go home to their parents and just be like, let's go to McDonald's. And it's just this endless cycle going down and down. But another one I watched that kind of stuck out to me too is they were comparing the actual meals. They took KFC and they took McDonald's, and they took like the French fries and they took the burgers and they took all this, what the difference is between countries, because there's a difference in the food in countries. And so I guess France, they were comparing France to India. So France has a lot of restrictions. So the advertisers were just like, okay, we're not going to advertise this way. They have standards. So they say they have to stay below so many grams of fat, so many grams of saturated fat. It has to stay below this and this. They have standards in France. Apparently they don't have these standards in India. So these things are way more like off the charts, like 5 to 10 to 20 times more of what the ones in France were. And it's like the same product. It's like French fries, but they're just like off the charts in there. And like, it's just so sad. And I was watching, there was kind of documenting this little 11-year-old boy, and he was talking about how he's addicted to McDonald's, and you just see him just guzzling his face with his McDonald's and McDonald's. And then he gets the surgery, the lap band surgery to shrink his stomach. And they're just like, yeah, his only hope to stop eating this addictive food was to get the surgery. Like, what? He's 11, like 11, like, oh my gosh. So that was just like, wow. So it was interesting to watch the documentary kind of from that side and just kind of see the tricky ways that these companies are using to lure in kids to kind of create this monster. I mean, you start as a kid and it only keeps going into an adult. It doesn't stop. You're creating a lifelong customer this way. They're smart. They're really smart. They make billions of dollars for a reason, you know? But damn, we have to be a little bit smarter than that. Oh, sorry, there was a bee. We have to be a little smarter. We have to just use discernment, dig in, look with our goggles and be like, okay, what's going on? Anyways, okay, so wanted to share what I watched last night. Hopefully, if I remember it, I'll probably pop it in the comments, but it was on Gaia TV. I'll try to look it up and see what it is, and I'll put it in the comments for you guys. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm going to keep walking and go back to work. So, bye guys.